Yes. So, here you can see the how dead the roads are. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is probably one of the first times I've had my phone out. It's got a very nice protective case in it, made by a company called Spigen. So they're very solid and robust. But I don't want to be testing out by dropping my thing down. So out for another every other day cycle ride. Yeah, what more can I say? Too much fake news, media nonsense going on all over the place. So yeah, guys, less of that on chat rooms and groups. There was a whole story about, one guy. So at the minute, I'm only controlling the back brake, so the back wheel's slowing down, which is a bit precarious. I'm going to slow the speed right down so I can do a little bit of talking. So the issue is that a lot of fake media nonsense news being circulated everywhere. So what you basically have is basically apparently 33 bodies awaiting burial in a mortuary, and that was dispelled immediately. Obviously it was a misunderstanding. The brother Abdul Qadir, he's actually a very well respected brother. Crisis UK, I have seen him on Islam channel before, a lot of these places, and what's really nice is that he's actually a really well respected brother. Obviously he was misadvised, and people made a meal out of it subsequently, rightly so I suppose in a way as well. But alhamdulillah, it's been resolved now, so that's all over. I'm going to carry my ride. As I said to you guys, usual 1 hour of exercise every day. It's a bit slightly sketchier road here, so yeah, roads are absolutely dead. It's again, every day is a Sunday, man. Literally every day is a Sunday. Have a look. Literally. Not the easiest of phones to hold. I'm gonna cut this short and let you homeboys get on with the rest of your day. This is one of those rides that I'm starting to regret. Oh, to get energy gel, have some water. So when you start feeling it, and the legs are just not feeling it. Oh, it's one of those rides I'm totally regretting. Yeah, parkour, lovely. It's quiet. There's a few roundabouts, and they've tarmacked the road. Well, not so recently, but yeah, thereabouts. But however, I'm gonna hop off this, come back down onto the roundabout. Yeah, so it's one of those days where you just not feeling it. The legs are just absolutely aching. But however, saying that, one must carry on. So I've done about 14.1 miles. I'm gonna go back onto my normal route and bust out some mileage on god damn it, on Monks Park, Hanger Lane, basically. But yeah, this is the largest industrial estate in Europe, parkour, no less. God damn it, and it's getting sketchy, so I'm gonna put this away. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Back from my cycle ride. Yeah, it was an awful ride today. Awful. God, you really can't trust the wind. It really slows you down. As you can see, families are connecting. Well, parents with children anyway. So in the distance you can hear that. Yeah. A lot of things I reckon aren't going to be the same once this whole corona thing is over. A lot of technology is going to make things a lot easier. For example, you may have heard of Zoom and face chatting time apps, especially Zoom. Yeah, that's really taken off, but there's a problem with that. There's no end-to-end encryption like WhatsApp. So yeah, that's a massive issue with that. Yeah, so meetings are taking place. If there's professional things that have to take place, like hospital appointments, so on and so forth. Yeah, so yeah, people can meet on Zoom. We've had another, I think 900 people died overnight. It's awfully sort of tragic news, if anything, awfully tragic. 0 calories. I need a kick of caffeine. If any of you wonder what I keep in this bottle, this is electrolytes, the salt you lose through your sweat, which they cannot basically scientifically quantify how much that salt is. You do lose a lot of water when you cycle through sweating, but the salt you lose, you can't really quantify how much that is, and that's exactly what makes you bonk, which is hit the wall, so to speak. It's a term used in cycling where you just can't go any further. It's endurance. You don't need to be excessively fit to cycle. It's like, it's not a strength-based sport. It's more of an endurance sport. How much can you take? 33 miles today. It was supposed to be like when I felt like I couldn't make it, it was supposed to be an easy ride. Like, how do you say it? Yep. Anyway, so I reckon technology is going to make things a lot easier. Companies around the world are meeting on teleconferencing now, so there's not really any excuse not to use that to hold meetings. It's really being, that technology is really being put through its paces. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. With regards to what's happening out there on the roads, the health minister, God, I'm not even going to try to recollect his name, has announced that by mid-April or end of April, there's going to be 100,000 coronavirus tests conducted. I mean, Germany has had only, well, they've tipped the scale today. They went over 1,000 deaths, but they've diagnosed how many coronavirus tests into the hundreds of thousands that they've conducted coronavirus tests. And we've been lagging really, really badly. But alhamdulillah, it's all good. Not really much more I can say with regards to the sun's out. Sunday is going to be hot weather. It's going to reach, we're going to go into the 20s with regards to Sunday. Trees are blossoming. The trees are blossoming, but there are still quite a few cars out there. So it's just a matter of time now, basically. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting back to anything that can be construed as standard, basically, for this country. There will be a lot of changes. Businesses won't. I mean, British Airways laid off 15,000 employees. I mean, suspended them, basically. So as to avoid redundancies, they came into a negotiation with Unite Union, so as to avoid redundancies, which is really, really cool of them. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of companies like Virgin and EasyJet have requested a bailout from the government with regards to this employee retention scheme. And it's a bit of a cheek if you think of it with regards to Virgin, which is run by Richard Branson. He owns an island in the Caribbean. That's how he avoids paying tax in this country. And now he wants to be bailed out by the government. For real. I kid you not, he wants to be bailed out by the government. Whether or not that will happen is a case in question. But yeah, that's. I mean, really and truly, that scheme should only be used for, you know, really struggling businesses as such. But yeah, it's all up in the air at the minute. Life is, you know, I'm going to sleep, I think, on time, but I think households are finding themselves waking up maybe an hour or two later. So yeah, it's routine. It's really, really routine. Is, you know, you do your 1 hour's exercise, get it in. Otherwise, mentally, you'll be really straining yourself, staying indoors all the time. For those of us who have the luxury of a garden, luckily I've got two. They may be concreted, but you know what the hell. It's very, very difficult. Very difficult. Yeah. So you know, that's the latest Corona update. I can't really give you, you know, much more with regards to it. We're going to tip, obviously, 3,000 deaths today. Yesterday, people came out and clapped in support of the NHS. That's happening every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. That's really, really cool. They are real heroes, the NHS, at the minute. You know, you cannot, you know, put it any other way, really. But yeah, again, they can only do so much. I mean, the government reckons that if we lose anything near 20,000 lives, we're going to get out of this really, really easy in the next 6 months. In the US, they're predicting losing 200,000 people. 200,000 people. And that's the worst affected country at the minute in terms of death rates. It's a real glim picture. Business are going to struggle to get back to normality, I think. That's going to be another question. People aren't going to be spending on, nights out. People are so... Restaurants are empty. I mean, obviously, you can't go and eat in there. But restaurants are, there is basically no one. Even takeaway, like just one person standing behind the counter. The chairs are on top of the table so no one can sit down. And there's no one going in or out. They're absolutely empty. I rode past 8 or 9. And most of them were shut. Majority was shut. Some of them were open. But there was just nothing going on. Absolutely nothing going on whatsoever. In terms of, people buying stuff. So yeah, those sort of restaurants, I reckon they're going to obviously take advantage of the employee retention scheme. With regards to self-employed people, it's up in the air for them. But I will say one thing, my neighbours have got corona. A guy who lives next door had corona. He obviously moved out to stay somewhere else. I've got a direct family who are affected by this. I will say one thing, with regards to the symptoms of coronavirus, around in these videos that I put up, if you go back 3 or 4 months, with regards to the protests of the mosque and everything, I had a asthmatic, incessant cough. Even in the videos, in 2 or 3 videos, I noticed for a few days. I do suffer from occasional seasonal asthma, and it's triggered by anything: stress, smelling a nasty perfume, air freshener, dampness, the normal things that trigger asthma. And I had that cough. And I think the first case of corona was reported back in, was it the 1st of Feb? I can't remember for the life of me. 1st of Feb? Around that time. I mean, corona could have been in this country 3 months ago. Who knows? Wow. Just look how viruses travel. They need a host, which is a human body. It sounds so scientific, like some sort of movie, but just look how viruses travel. Amazing, absolutely amazing. But fingers crossed, pharmaceutical companies, government research agencies, we've got to find a cure for this. This can't be allowed to happen again. And my question is, leave your comments, leave your comments in the section below. If this happens again, do we do it the same way? Do we sort of go into quarantine again? There must be another way to, sort of fight this sort of thing. The biggest fear is that whenever the sort of sanctions or instructions are lifted with regards to freedom of movement, will this happen again? I mean, in May, what's not stopping it from happening? We have flu season in December, in November, in October. What's going to happen then? There's big questions for the government. We have to really, really bang our heads and find a cure for this. It's unbelievable that there hasn't, pharmaceutical companies, prepare vaccines every year. And it's unbelievable that we haven't been able to find one for this coronavirus. Anyway, my question is for you guys. What does the word corona actually mean? I know, obviously, COVID-19, it was found at the end of 2019, this virus. So, that's all I can really say. I understand that corona means highly contagious. Is it in Latin? I don't know what language it means highly contagious. So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing now exactly. It's a daunting prospect. How many lives will this virus take? How many lives will it take? It's ravaged the country. It's ravaged the country absolutely. It's done something that, it's stopped the economy. It's literally stopped the economy. Like a drop of 60% in retail trading, in goods and services, being sold in this country. Massive drops in, gross domestic product, GDP. It's absolutely crazy. And another question, I wonder if obviously, another question is, the taxes will definitely be increased later on, maybe a year and a half or a year from now. You know, income tax will have to go up like, you know, who knows, hopefully not to astronomical levels to pay for all of this. Wow. Wow. Anyway, that's the thoughts and the comments for today. Ali Tahir signing out.